Scott asked me to read a novel he had just completed called Trimalchio of West Egg. Now, another said it was earlier called Trimalchio's Banquet. I'm not sure which. And Swanee says, I thought it was the best thing of his that I had ever read. But I told him, that's a horrible title. Really, he asked, why don't you like it? I think it would kill any book sale. This is an agent talking, you understand? I mean, to become an agent, he would become an agent. I guess you're right. So as so many other people have told me the same thing. I suggest, now here he says, this is from his book, Swanson's book, which is called Sprinkled with Ruby Dust, which he believes all writers have this special gift from the gods, I suppose. And I wrote the foreword to Sprinkled with Ruby Dust. And he said, I suggested that he call it Gatsby, or The Great Gatsby. And to this he replied, I'll have to make my final decision when I finish it, which will be very soon. Now, Swanson said that, I would say 2 or 3 years before he died. Swanson was 92 when he passed away. And the first time he told me this story, he said, you're calling it West Egg, that's an awful title. But some 20 years later, it became, no, don't call it that, call it Gatsby or The Great Gatsby, which was evidently a fine book. And there was more plot in it than I realized. Because having read like Tender is the Night, This Side of Paradise, The Beautiful and the Damned. No, Tender is the Night came out later, in 1933. And then The Last Tycoon. But he had an awful time with booze, and which possibly what got him out of the bottle was his wife. But we don't want to accuse her of that, although there was a problem there. Now there's a copy of Tender is the Night I read in the New York Times is boldly inscribed by Fitzgerald to Sherman Kent, the future founder of modern intelligence analysis, and it's on sale for $42,000. So he could make more, if he were alive, could make more money now than he did when he was alive. Because he didn't sell that much. And I bet it discouraged him because he did turn to the bottle, and he had an awful lot of fun in Europe on the coast. I had trouble too with the bottle, but I learned how to write when I was hungover, and pretty soon I got past that, and I quit drinking, and that was quite a while. That was back in the 70s that I quit. So I've been writing like a storm since then, you see. So, in fact, I'm now to read you something. I'm going to read you something that I wrote. And this is from Killshot, which I wrote in 1989. It's from the first chapter. The phone rang. He listened to several rings before picking up the receiver, wanting it to be a sign. He liked signs. The blackbird said yes, and a voice he recognized asked would he like to go to Detroit, see a man at a hotel Friday morning. It would take him maybe 2 minutes. In the moment the voice on the phone said Detroit, the blackbird thought of his grandmother, who lived near there, and began to see himself and his brothers with her when they were young boys, and thought, this could be a sign. The voice on the phone said, what do you say, Chief? How much? Out of town, I'll go 15. The blackbird lay in his bed staring at the ceiling, at the cracks making highways and rivers. The stains were lakes, big ones. I can't hear you, Chief. I'm thinking you're low. All right, give me a number. I like 20,000. You're drunk. I'll call you back. I'm thinking this guy's staying at a hotel. He's from here, no? What difference does it make where he's from? You mean, what difference is it to me? I think it's somebody you don't want to look in the face. The voice on the phone said, hey, Chief, I'll get somebody else. The guy was a punk. He had to talk like that. It was okay. The Blackbird knew what this guy and his people thought of him. Half-breed tough guy one time from Montreal, maybe a little crazy. They gave him the dirty jobs. If you took the jobs, you took the way they spoke to you. You spoke back if you could get away with it, if they needed you. It wasn't social, it was business. He said, you don't have no somebody else. You call me when your people won't do it. I'm thinking that tells me the guy in the hotel, I wonder if it's the old guy you line up to kiss his hand. Guy passed his time. He don't like how you do things. There was a silence on the line before the voice said, forget it. We never had this conversation.